like every semester. We get like 2 groups.
Well, we really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you guys.
You took her class?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did. I love.
She's a really cool professor.
Yes, she's amazing. Amazing. Yeah. When I think she tells us if there's anybody like has family members and things like that. So when she asked, and I was like, my husband did just have prosthetic eye, and so she's like, can I add you on the list? And I was like, yes, of course. So that's how we started to get, you guys coming.
Yeah, it's harder when, like, I was going to the Valley Center for the Blind, and I guess they don't want to really give out their information out to for people. So
A lot of it's like confidential.
yeah, a lot of
it's
probably.
a little bit harder.
Yeah. All right, when you guys are ready, you guys are all set.
Do you want to start
You guys say it in English or Spanish?
Oh yeah.
You can say it in English. He understands.
I understand.
And if he doesn't, then I can translate.
Speak,
I can translate if he talks Spanish or English. I'll do it. Don't worry about it. You just do English if you want.
Go for it.
The first one's, may we have permission to ask personal questions, and we'll keep your name confidential. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
What is your disability? Congenital or accidental?
Accident.
Accidental. Okay.
Well,
You can go ahead.
well, I was gonna ask could we ask how it happened?
Oh yeah.
Come with it.
Pues no. Anteriormente yo tomaba mucho alcohol
Before I used to drink a lot.
y una noche estaba tomando con mis amigos
One night I was drinking out with friends.
y
Well, one friend.
y perdí el control
I lost control.
y empecé a pelear con él
And I started to fight first with the other person.
y él se fue y regresó con otros amigos
And he left and came back with other 2 men.
y me golpearon
And they beat me up.
y estuve a punto de morir
I was really close to losing my life today.
y esa noche perdí mi ojo.
And that night he lost his eye.
Me golpearon, no sé con qué, pero
I'm not sure what they hit me with.
me rompieron como a la mitad de mi cara. Como,
Half of his eye socket here was shattered. They actually has a replacement here. He has a little bit of like metal on there.
Like staples and stuff?
Yeah, kind of
Okay,
like
cool.
that. And then his eye completely ruptured. Like they tried to put it back together, but it was completely. Couldn't work. He also had.
mi nariz.
Oh yeah, he had a broken nose. He had an air bubble on his in his brain also because you can see that scar right here.
Yeah.
So he had a little bit air going there.
How long was this, if you don't mind? How long ago?
He was 29. He's about
No,
yeah, I think he's 29.
no.
Tengo tu medical record.
Okay.
Always right.
Yeah.
Tuvo de los golpes entonces.
Yeah, he said his.
It must have been hard.
Yeah, they must have hit him hard. Yeah, he was 29 years old. It was back in 2011. Yeah, so it's been almost 10 years? 10 years.
Gracias.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind me asking, how was it in the hospital?
¿Cómo estuvo en el hospital?
Como todavía estaba muy tomado. cuando
He
llegué
was
al
very
hospital.
drunk when we got to the
Y
hospital.
no me pudieron hacer nada.
They couldn't do anything to him.
So, tenía mi ojo pegado porque el líquido que salió se pegó mi ojo.
So like they had to literally like sterilize it, flush it out because it was sticking. Because they didn't know what was wrong with him because he was
Y
bleeding
trataron de
a
abrirlo,
lot.
pero me dolió mucho.
They tried to open it, but he remembers that it felt stuck
Y
like on there because when the air hits it, it dries up. And so he was in a lot of pain.
aunque estaba bien tomado, de todos modos me dolió mucho.
Even though I was drunk and he had a lot of alcohol in his system, he could still feel a lot of the pain and remember a little bit.
Y ahí fue cuando se dieron cuenta de que ya no, lo había perdido totalmente.
And that's when they opened his eye, they knew that he had lost it completely. I do remember that they said to they called the specialist and they let me know like they were taking him to the trauma, like it was really bad. and I filled out all these papers, you know.
So you guys were married at that time?
Yeah, we got married in 2007. Yeah, and we had one, at that time we had one daughter.
I have a question.
Yes.
How's the sight in your other eye? Was it affected at all by the accident in on your eye?
¿Y
That's
otro ojo? No.
yeah, nothing.
No.
So it's a good. Your
Sí,
there's
nada
perfect
más.
vision.
Dijeron los doctores que si hubiera sido como un disparo de arma de fuego o hubiera entrado otro cosa dentro de mi ojo, sí me podía afectar.
So they said if the doctor told them, he remembers that, and he told them that if it would have been like a shot or something more with chemical, it could have damaged his other vision, like his other eye. But it wasn't, you know, because it was more of a just like something that hit
Like
him.
a force kind of.
A force.
So that's
yeah.
how you know that it wasn't like they didn't shoot him.
Yeah, they actually think it was like the wrench for a tire.
Oh,
like
so
one
like
of
a
those.
metal.
Like
Yeah.
tire iron or
Mhm.
oh, okay.
Ya, porque yo sentí un golpe muy sólido.
It was very
Solid.
solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like a hand or anything.
No, it was.
And it actually says that he lost conscious for a while. Yeah.
So what's the first thing you remember afterwards?
¿Qué te
First
recuerdas?
and last?
Lo
Cuando-
primero.
Lo primero que recordé,
Just kind of waking up in the hospital.
Oh, no. ¿Qué te recuerdas?
me levanté y miré toda la sangre
So he says he woke up and he saw all the blood all over him.
y me dolía mucho mi cara
His face hurt a lot,
y no podía abrir mi ojo.
and he couldn't open his eye.
Y pues estaba muy borracho, solamente me arrastré y tomé
He
el
was crawling all
teléfono
over the floor, and
y marqué
he
el
picked up the
911
phone. He called 911.
y ya.
And
me
I-
llamé.
He used to drink a lot, and I didn't like it. That night, me and him, I didn't like him drinking at all, period. And so he had gotten in an argument with me, and I took off to my mom's house. And my sister was there, and her boyfriend was there. It was my sister's boyfriend that did this. And my 2-year-old stayed there. I took off pretty much because I didn't want to argue, I didn't want to cause anything, and it's just too much drama. But I get to my mom's. I'm not getting 15 minutes. They're like, hey, you better get back here. My sister calls. They got him into a fight. So I get back there. And when I get back there, everything's already there. There's ambulance. There's cops. I remember him seeing him on the floor and crawling. You know, he's yelling, help me. You know, and the cops are like, don't touch him. You cannot go in there. We don't know exactly what's wrong with him. You know, we know he's bleeding everywhere, but they're like, they didn't let me go in.
That must
And
feel very
yeah, it was.
desesperante.
Yeah, and he's 9 years older than me, so I was 20 at the time. And so it was hard.
So you're like confused, you didn't know what to do at all.
Yeah, it did freak me out a lot, actually. And his head was like so big and round because of so many hits that they hit him, because they said he was swollen. It was so swollen. I didn't take any pictures because it was like, you know, other people they take pictures or like, you know, what happened and stuff, but I told them if you would have seen the size of your head, it was pretty bad. It was really round and out of the normal way. Oh my gosh, yeah.
And can I ask the recuperación?
Mhm.
¿Cómo fue?
Mi recuperación fue yo creo como 3 meses en cama.
It was about like 3 months in bed rest.
In the hospital?
Mm-mm.
No.
Back then he didn't have documents, and so thankfully the government had a program called MISP, and that covered him.
Nada más la cirugía.
Yeah, they covered the surgery. They did the surgery. He literally stayed in the hospital that one night, and then they kicked him out. He wasn't allowed to be in there, get any rest. I had to take care of him. He had to be home, but thankfully, at least everything else was covered. But that's all they could do for us. So right after the surgery, like he spent the night, then they put him out.
And
So-
how was that on you? Like the rest of the family?
It was, my mom helped me a lot with my daughter. Back then, we used to live with, before we had moved in with my sister, we were staying with his brother. So obviously, when it was my sister's boyfriend, it didn't only affect him, but it affected all of us. You know, my sister and I didn't talk for a whole year. And I think God had a plan and purpose in all this. I think if my sister would have stayed with that boyfriend, it could have been my sister in that spot. if he was capable of doing something like this to my husband, I think he could have probably killed my sister within, you know, who knows? If he was abusive, he's abusive. And so we knew that there was a plan there, but me and my sister didn't talk for a whole year. That night that all this happened, she took me with her to go bail her boyfriend out.
Oh.
Wow.
So that's what hit me the most.
Yeah.
That was like, you know what? That's it. That was too much for me. With this, he in the hospital, and then her, I felt like betrayed. I didn't talk to her for a whole
I mean,
year.
that's the last thing you want to see.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah, she was so blind. You know how they say that love is blind?
Yeah.
She was totally blind with this guy. But so thankfully, his brother opened the doors for us, and we stayed there with his brother. In that time when we needed a place to stay, because we didn't go back with my sister anymore. And then it did cause us some debt there because we had a contract. She didn't want to go back. I didn't go back, so we left it like that. They charged us for, like, you know, the blood everywhere, the broken contract, and that haunted us for until we paid that off, because that was our name and her name on the apartment. And so it was a lot. But thankfully his brother took us in, and he let us stay there for those few months. Then he was sick. He was in bed rest. I had to bathe him. I had to feed him. You know how this is all facially, it's all sensitive. He couldn't eat. He couldn't open his jaw because of the, you know, the surgery he had inside here.
Todo aquí no abrieron también.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was open from
Todo
the
por
inside.
dentro.
So they did, actually, they tried their best not to
Dijeron
scar
que
him.
podía perder mis dientes, pero no.
Oh,
Sí, duraron, porque tenía que abrir toda la cara para operarla.
Yeah, so he was all open and stitched up, so he couldn't eat, and then he couldn't work, of course. He on all those 3 months he was in bed rest, literally, because when he would try to get up, he would be dizzy, super dizzy because of his head and his eye. ¿Quieres explicar un poquito cómo te sentías?
Yeah, sí, no tenía balance.
He didn't have balance.
Aún estando en la cama todavía sentía como todo me daba vueltas.
Even
todo me daba
laying
vueltas.
down in bed, I could feel
Tenía mucha
my head
fiebre.
turning.
Tenía mucha
Oh,
fiebre,
yeah. He had a lot of fever. He remembers
mucho dolor en mi cabeza.
yeah, he had a lot of fever and a lot of pain in his head.
That kind of leads me to, was there any like permanent brain damage or anything else besides
¿Qué te
your loss
dijeron?
of vision?
¿De qué?
De golpes o nada así.
Que sí.
Que había como brain damage o algo así, no te dijeron.
A tu cerebro
Did
no
it?
le afectó.
Just kind of physical.
It was more physical.
No,
They didn't
no,
say
no.
anything. They checked him and stuff, but
Hasta el momento no sé si
No.
hay,
he
la
says at
gente
the
me mira,
time he
me
doesn't
mira
say.
y no sé si piensa que estoy mal, pero
Yo
yo me siento normal.
He says I see myself completely normal. So I don't know what people may see me or
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
You know, when I speak, I always tell him, "Yup." He forgets things, or you know.
We all do that.
Or I just we just play around like that, but
I have a question.
yes.
How did you adjust to walking just with one eye, like your vision? Yeah.
Fue complicado al
It
principio.
was very complicated.
Cuando me levanté de la cama,
When I got up from bed,
lo principal fue volver a tomar el balance otra
the
vez.
first thing was to get my balance back together.
Y las cosas más pequeñas empezaron a hacerse más difíciles, como a
And the
tomar
smallest things
tomar
started to
una
be the
cosa.
most difficult.
Yo quería
for
tomar
me.
esta cosa y como mis ojos estaban
Like if I wanted to
acostumbrados
grab
a
this.
mirar, a saber la distancia que estaba,
It's like further.
afectó y lo quería agarrar
It's
antes.
farther away, or
y
he
estaba
wants to
más
get it before or
lejos.
after.
O si estaba más cerca,
He would miss it.
no sabía dónde estaban las cosas.
Yeah.
Por ejemplo, un hilo si está colgando algo así,
Or like a string
no lo
that's
puedo
hanging,
encontrar. Tengo
Las
que tratar
llaves.
varias veces, o a veces alguien me da algo
The
y
keys.
no las alcanzo a agarrar porque
What?
no
He wasn't able to catch anything someone wanted to have.
mi ojo uno enfoca y el otro hace hace dos diferentes funciones los dos ojos juntos y con uno solo.
We know that the eyes work together, you know.
Yeah.
Too. It's like when we forget one time, we go to the movies and he can't watch the 3D movies with
Yeah.
us.
Oh,
We get there and we're like, oh my gosh, babe, I'm so
You realize
sorry.
it.
Yes. And he's like, it's fine. And I'm like, oh, we forgot.
what
So
I did.
you know, because it works together.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the 3D. Yeah,
One's red or one's
Yes.
They should
Wow.
do something.
And
for
so
that.
I know, right? Like a little, yeah, no. And I was like, babe, I'm sorry. And so I'm like, how does it look without it? It's super blurry.
It's
So
Pero me lo tengo que
blurry.
poner para no mirar borroso. So,
Yeah.
Lo miro normal, pero
He
no,
says it,
no es
yeah.
tan real como 3D.
Yeah, he still weared it even though, because it was
Para no
super
mirar
blurry.
lo blurry.
Yeah.
You get all dizzy, te mareas todo con.
Ya. Pero y cuando empecé a caminar
When I
entre la
started
gente,
to walk between like the
empecé a
people,
tirar cosas
I
de
would
este
drop off
lado,
things or
a
I
chocar
would
con la
bump
gente
into the people.
y no, nada más
No,
decía
and
sorry.
what would
pero-
break his heart was when he would drop my 2-year-old.
No, sí,
That's
estaba
what
chiquita
hurt me. She
y
was
cuando
2.
estaba de este lado y volteaba y la tiraba
Yeah,
y
he would
decía,
drop her
oh,
all the
sorry.
time because she would follow him, you know, and she's
Yeah.
crawling and she's all tiny. He would turn around and he would throw her, and that was it was hurtful for him. Even for me, he would tell me,
So-
"Oh, you don't love me no more because his eye," and I'm like, "I'll give you my eye."
Aw.
But I tell him, "No, that didn't change
Ya, pero
anything."
al principio estaba emocional,
He was very
la-
emotional.
quebrantado, se podría
So,
decir.
como-
Was he depressed?
Yeah,
or you-
te sentías
Ajá.
Yeah, he was.
deprimido?
Yeah, you can say he was depressed.
Y tenía
Yeah.
mucho coraje también.
Oh,
Yeah. Yes, he had a lot
¿Nunca
of
fuiste,
anger.
nunca estuviste como consejería para eso?
No.
He didn't want to go
nunca.
to any counseling until now. He still doesn't. We never filled out papers that he has a disability. He never wanted to.
No quieres, no.
I always tell him for the same side, like I always tell him, just this is the only good eye, you know. But he never wanted to. And I was like,
Hay una
okay.
razón en especial por qué no.
¿Por qué no quiero hacerlo?
Ajá.
Del disability de todo, que nunca lo-
Porque aprendí a hacer todas las cosas nuevamente.
Yeah, he didn't want to
Como-
apply for
común y
disability
corriente,
because
como
he
las-
feels he can do everything still.
Volví a trabajar porque
He was
trabajaba en
able
la
to work
construcción
again. He used to
y
work in
volví a
construction.
trabajar en la construcción, aunque al principio se me hacía difícil, pero
And he
lo
actually
volví a
returned
hacer.
back to working in construction.
Me forcé a hacerlo, dije,
And
sí,
he
lo
forced
tengo que
himself
volver a hacer.
to do it.
Like
Y
the
luego-
sense of independence.
Yeah.
Strong.
Igual cuando me dijeron, no, pues tienes que manejar
The
y
same
en ese
thing
entonces
when-
ya tenía
they
mis
told him to
documentos y ya pude sacar mi licencia,
Yeah.
pero
He's able to
al
get his,
principio tenía miedo de no
his
poder
residency and all
hacerlo,
that.
de
He's able
no
to get a
poder
driver
hacerlo,
license.
pero sí lo pude hacer.
And so he was able to get his driver license and he did it.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
really
and
cool.
they said that because it was his right eye, I always forget what side it is, his right eye, he was still able to drive and they still considered it 20/20 for him because he can turn and
Oh,
use
yeah,
his
makes
eye.
sense.
If it was this side, then he wouldn't be able to see all
like,
cars,
yeah, okay, I got it.
pedestrians, but because it's this side, he can move his head and still see
Oh.
everything. And so they
Y
let him.
ahí el examen para mí fue de un poquito diferente porque dice que tengo que voltear de este lado y chequear mucho más que una persona
Yeah.
normal.
So they allowed
Voltear todo el
him.
cuello
The
totalmente
scoring was
para
different
mirar
for
si
him
hay
too.
alguien ahí.
They just told him he had to move his head a lot more, and so that they
Pero
could
gracias
see.
a Dios sí lo pude hacer.